Hey, what's going on, guys? Buttchinn here, and today is our first episode of What If, and our topic is going to be what if chaotics were tradable or sellable. Now, okay, so if you don't know what a chaotic is, and it's referring to like a chaotic rapier, chaotic longsword, chaotic staff. Now, these are dungeoneering items, and there's shields and weapons, like I was just saying. There's the longsword, there's the rapier, there's a staff, there's the maul, and oh, there's a crossbow also. Forgot about that one. And there's 3 shields, one for ranging, one for melee, and one for mage. Now, these cost 200k tokens in dungeoneering, and it requires level 80 dungeoneering. Now, a lot of people want these because they are the best weapons in the game. They have the best stats, and the rapier, for example, is really good for Slayer because it attacks fast and it hits pretty decently high. You can hit up to like 600s with it. And yeah, so they're really needed for like PvP and such. They're really good in PvP. They really hit hard and they really hit frequently. They're amazing and they're practically needed in PvM. And yeah, so everyone wants them, and that's what they are basically. If you didn't know what they were. Now let's get into like the topic of what if they were sellable. Now, right now, if you don't know what leeching is, you can leech a dungeon for around 2 mil, depending on the floor. And considering that I personally only get around 5 to 8k tokens, it would cost roughly 40 to 50 mil per chaotic if you leech the dungeon. So now I'm trying to figure it out. If you paid that to leech a dungeon, and say you spent the extra time, so added maybe roughly 5 to 10 mil onto that, a chaotic would probably be around 40 to 60 mil street price, and probably in the Grand Exchange it would be around 50. Now, how would this affect like everybody in RuneScape, just the game itself? More people would have it, obviously. More people would be able to buy it, and the way I think it would work, just get on the side note, is that it would probably work like a Barrows item, where if you didn't know, it has like a 100% charge, 1 to 100% charge, and it costs 2 mil to repair. So I'm assuming it would just be like Barrows where you can repair it, and once it's fully charged, you can sell it. But anyways, how it would affect the game: more people would have it, and this means that more people would be killing bosses and PvPing. So, if you analyze it a little bit, more people are doing some bossing and more people are doing some PvP. That means probably the armor is going to go down in price. So maybe Rune might go down a little bit, considering more people would have it in PvP. But where it would hit and affect the most would probably be PvP, because if you look at Bandos, for example, Bandos is a melee boss, and a lot of people use like the rapier and the longsword there because it is best there. Now, say not everybody has a rapier or a longsword right now, so they feel like they shouldn't go there because they don't have the best gear. But now, if you could buy it for roughly like 50 mil or something, you would see a lot more people going to Bandos and such, and it would create a higher population, or a higher influx of Bandos items, such as like God Swords, hilts, chestplate, and tassets into the market of the economy of RuneScape, which it lowers the price of it if there's more supply and demand. If you don't know that, basically, if there's more of one item, there's going to be a less demand on that item because there's less people. There's more of them in the market. Sorry, and there's more of them in the market, so less people are going to want them because they already have them. And I hope that made sense to you guys. Kind of went through my head, a little jumbled, but yeah. So it would definitely increase or decrease the price of armor such as Bandos, probably Armadale too, because there's a chaotic crossbow. So yeah, more people would be killing bosses. Price of armor would probably go down a lot, and yeah. So now let's get on to the requirements of like teams and bossing and such. Now this is more PvP or PvM related. Now, if you're like going on like a forums, on the RuneScape forums or whatever, and you're like looking for like a next team, for example, if chaotics were tradable, it would practically be a requirement. Like, I almost know that it would be a requirement. Like right now, most teams like you to have a chaotic crossbow. Now, because it has a really high accuracy and it's really good at Nex because it hits through Nex's high defense. Now, if chaotics are tradable, that means people could buy them, and when you're making a team, people would expect you to buy them because you want to be serious about the boss, you know. So it'd be 100% possibility that they would be like a requirement to do that boss for teams and like such of like 5 to 6 man teams of Nex. And this goes for like Bandos and Armadale too. For example, Armadale probably need the chaotic crossbow. Bandos need the longsword or the rapier. Now, to end this little series or episode of if chaotics are tradable, would I like it? And my personal answer is no. Now, when I have a chaotic, and I'm proud of my chaotic because I spent, I don't even know how long, like 3 weeks getting my chaotic rapier, and this thing is beast. And it's like something I look at, and I'm like, wow, I actually spent the time to get this, and like that. And I'd rather not just have it be like, oh, I just bought this in the Grand Exchange, and I only got 80 dunge because I needed to use it for the rapier. Now, I just think that, like, morally, I like earning stuff, and like I wouldn't like want to just buy it in the Grand Exchange. I hope you guys know what I mean. Like, I'd rather just earn it. It feels better when you're using it, and like when you're bossing, if you're gonna hit a drop and you're like, wow, this sword helped me get this drop or something like that. You know what I mean? But personally, guys, I wouldn't like it at all. I think it would almost ruin the game for chaotics. There would be too many of them. Prices of armor and such would go down a lot. So it's kind of a shorter episode, guys, but I hope you guys like this little series. Now, if you guys want to see more like this, and if you want to suggest like a what if topic, just leave a comment below. Now, this is my first series, or my first episode of the series, so it's probably not at its full potential yet. So if you guys could leave like some tips on how I should improve it at all, just leave a comment below. And if you got through this all, and you're interested in more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified when my next video comes out. And thanks for watching, guys.